morning and happy Friday. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Oh my gosh, do we have such an amazing live stream tonight, guys. The legendary 8 p.m. is in the house. We're going to bring him in very soon, but just wanted to start off with giving him the welcome that he deserves and saying hi to everyone. And thank you guys so much for being here. Paul is on his way home from work and is stuck in major traffic. So we'll see. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he'll be able to join. But we will go ahead and kick off our Friday night party here with the one and only 8 p.m. And guys, we are going to be talking tonight all about the future of Jimmy, which, if you couldn't tell already from what I post all the time, as well as these guys and the little army behind me, we love Jimmy. So tonight we're going to be talking about what is the future of Jimmy. I know we've heard some little clues recently, as well as New York Comic Con 2024. Of course, 8 is going to be there, so we'll hear all about it from him. But guys, if you don't know who 8 p.m. is, he is an incredibly talented artist, excuse me. He also is the creator of Jimmy, which is half Kraken, half ghoul, all dead. We love Jimmy. And such a just amazing person in the community that we love to collect. So 8's going to come on and tell us all about some amazing things tonight. So guys, grab something to drink, grab a snack, welcome in. We believe in Jimmy, and let's have a great Friday night. And guys, thank you so much to everyone who's here tonight. We really do appreciate it. And this is going to be an amazing live. And Paul and I cannot thank 8 enough for being here tonight. This is the second live stream we've done together on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the first one, go check it out on my YouTube profile. It was so much fun, and I know tonight we're going to have a blast as well. Okay, guys, so who wants to see 8 p.m.? Let's get some comments going here. And feel free as well tonight, if you guys have any questions, to throw them in the chat. We'd love to see what you want to know as well, and especially since we have an incredible artist here with us tonight. Okay, well, I think without further ado, we should go ahead and bring on the one and the only 8 p.m. Hello, stranger.
Hi.
You know, I was thinking, what face is he going to do, or how is he going to do his entrance tonight to the stream? And I was really excited.
So
So,
last time, you, I didn't know you could see me.
yep,
So it made for a very it was only hilarious to you
it
on what
really
I was
was.
doing. But this time I was like, okay, she can see me, so I gotta save it. That's my legendary face because you give me too much credit. So thank you for the introduction.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, you deserve it entirely, and I know that our whole Jimmy Army and 8 p.m. Army would definitely agree that everyone just adores you. Not only are you incredibly talented, but you're such an amazing person too, and it's very clear to see that you love what you do, and that passion really comes through in Jimmy and all of your artwork. So, can't thank you enough, Sean, for being here, and we really appreciate it and appreciate all your time.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay, so I think before we dive into New York Comic Con, would
Hmm.
love to talk to you more. Anything that you want to share with us tonight about the future of Jimmy? I know we've heard some little hints here and there that there might be something happening. So, can you tell us a little bit more about anything that you can share with us right now?
Okay, yeah, I can. It also has a lot to do with New York Comic Con because that's coming up soon.
Okay.
So it's kind of rolled into that. Um, but I think there's been some talk because I was running my mouth over on IG Live with Killer Fox and Jasper not too long ago about talking about what this all is. Does it have a beginning and an end? Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
And the short of it is, yeah, it's this is all about an artist's journey. It's about having um, a plan with everything going on. There's a very specific reason for the colorways, the way that they are, the way that they exist, the way that they're represented, the way some of them um, are released for very specific reasons. Some of them got moved around. And
Okay.
so, yeah, with that, it's I'm not necessarily flying at the seat of my pants, and with that, I have a very distinct ending to what we've created so far. And so yeah, there, that Jimmy, as we know him, is yeah, is coming to an end shortly. And I think that, and I also mentioned this, like I want completionists and collectors to be able to have every single one. We've gone
Hmm.
on this journey for a year. And I didn't want to like keep things going to the point where it's like, okay, at what point do I break and not be able to have every single one, and then it unravels from there. So I've broken up kind of my journey into chapters or segments of kind of what I plan to do or what I want to do going forward. Um, so with that, one thing that I wanted to announce here is that yeah, we're just going right into it.
Ooh, let's go. Spill everything. Tell us all you want to tell us.
It's actually not too crazy, but there will be two colorways at New York Comic Con,
Ooh.
and after those two colorways, there is only one left. So
Oh
we
my gosh.
we are coming to the conclusion, and New York Comic Con is the beginning of the end. So um, the ones that are left are probably my favorites, and yeah, I think that's something that made a lot of sense going forward because we went into this knowing that um, we wanted to tell a specific story and we wanted it to wrap up in a nice bow at the right time. And we debuted Jimmy at New York Comic Con last year.
Hmm.
So it only made sense to do something special for this show this year. Um, the one of the colorways, I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm going to save that.
Oh, come on. Just tell us everything.
No, I'm not going to tell you. But I can tell you this. One of them is a Jimmyversary edition. It is
Ooh.
celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Jimmy. With that, that particular colorway will have like a special designated Jimmyversary sticker on the packaging. It will have a special Jimmyversary insert. The other colorway is near and dear to my heart, super special. I have I've hinted at it in multiple ways, but have never said outward that they were hints. So it's out there on what it's going to be, and that's all I'm going to say for that one. But I'm excited about that one. Jimmyversary is September 24th.
Oh my
So
gosh.
September 24th, which is coming up Tuesday,
Hmm.
we're going to do something special online. If you purchase any available Jimmy that is limited edition, which I think is the attic. I think the green glow exists still. I think there's not that many.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they're very few.
yeah, the first 50 who purchase on the day of Jimmyversary will also get a hand drawn Jimmy skull and signed by me. It's a 4x6. So the first 50 will be sent out um, with that. So only 50. I'm only doing 50, but I'm hand drawing. Every single one will be different. If I feel like any particular one's going to have an eggplant drawn on it, so be it. That's what you get. And you're going to get a random one. You can't pick which one you get. You don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be in with your purchase if you purchase a Jimmy on
Wow.
Jimmyversary. So that's kind of like, just going to throw that at you right off the bat so you can pick my brain about anything if you want to talk more about it, or we can move on. But that's all the crazy news I wanted to throw at you. And so I hope chat is excited about not only Jimmyversary, but New York Comic Con.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much because I know that we were talking and you said you were going to be dropping some hints, but I did not expect you to be dropping all those incredible clues. Guys, this is what separates Eight from the rest. Not only is he so talented, but your appreciation for everyone who collects Jimmy and 8 p.m. and your artwork is incredible. And that is so exciting. So, first, let's start off with New York Comic Con. So, we're
Okay.
getting two colorways. I know you said one of them is that special anniversary sticker on there. What do you think, or I guess, can you tell us any clues or anything that went into the thought process behind your New York Comic Con plans this year?
Um, so One of the colorways is
Hmm.
a colorway I've been sitting on that I have wanted to release for so long.
Ooh.
It's I would say it's my favorite one, and it's the one that represents um my brand the most. Both are clean, simple, straight to the point. I
Okay.
think that there's I had mentioned this too in a previous conversation, but we're reaching a point, of course, because we only have a few left, that we're seeing the final versions of certain variants. So with the attic, that was a final variant, face mask variant. So it has, there it is.
Yeah,
That's the
there you go.
final one that has an actual face mask variant having the spider webs on it.
Love them.
Um, the two that are going to New York Comic Con are each, well, no, actually, one of them is the final of a specific series within the Jimmy colorway line.
Okay.
The other one is second to the last. And the final one that we launch will be the final of that particular series. So they're two separate series. And it's kind of cryptic, but I'll also reveal kind of how they all go together, and you can kind of see. And I'm sure people can, if they've collected or seen, all the Jimmy colorways on the feeds or anything like that, you can kind of pick out like, oh, these all kind of go together, and they're all thought through to be little mini series within the series of Jimmy. So,
Yeah. Oh my
um,
gosh.
yeah,
Absolutely incredible. And it's so evident too, as someone who loves to collect, but also really appreciates, the amazing artwork that you make. Every Jimmy totally has a story. Whether it be the difference in the face mask or like ink blot with the jaw or the colors or the chrome or the glow. And it's so amazing how every single one that you've created, although of course we know it's a very similar mold, that every one of them looks so different and really carries a story. And I think it's so special this year at NYCC that it is that 1 year since Devil Jimmy last year, which, oh my gosh, I remember being absolutely mind blown and then getting to meet you. And I was like, this is the best day ever. And little did I know what that would lead to and the incredible journey that you would go on after that. But huge congratulations to you for this beginning of the end epic send off. Jimmy definitely deserves it. And I think that what better way to commemorate that than following up at New York Comic Con, which I know is going to be absolutely huge for you and Jimmy and Plastic Empire as well.
yeah, and big props and credit to Plastic Empire. I think there was some conversation around like, oh, this means that APM's not working with Plastic Empire anymore. And that is not true. That is categorically false. So
Ooh,
I want to put that
okay.
out there too. Like, I say, and you mentioned this in the lead up to this conversation that Jimmy is dead. It's absolutely true. We're going to kill Jimmy off, but it also says on this packaging that he's already dead. So keep that in mind.
That is a good point. Yeah, he's our favorite little dead, undead little guy, and he's just so beautiful. I mean, it really is such a gorgeous mold, and ever since Devil Jimmy, I was instantly hooked. I knew that, anything you released, I was going to go for, and to see where we're at today and just to hear what a beautiful moment this is going to be at New York Comic Con this year for you, it's just so amazing, and I'm just so happy for you and could not say a bigger congratulations to you on this amazing start to the end.
Thank you. Yeah, it's last year because it was the beginning. It was so unknown and new. Where I was like, "Oh, what am I supposed to do?" Like blah blah. It was very much that mindset. And
Yeah.
it was a different kind of celebration. It was like the celebration of finally getting it launched after so many years of trials and tribulations of getting it manufactured, done right, all that kind of stuff, etc. This one
Absolutely.
is like the fruits of our labor, like building a community, building a fandom around this character. And so it's going to be a bigger celebration and a lot more weight lifted off my shoulders in terms of celebration. So
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to this year in particular because we're just going to have so much fun with it. And I will be partying all week. I'm going to be in New York for a while, so you may see me running around the streets.
Oh my gosh. Well, we can't wait. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be so exciting. And I've already picked out what Jimmy's I'm going to bring for you to sign, of course. It's only a few. I mean, I want to
It's a
bring
big
every
box.
single one of them, but
It's a big box. It's like
Box. We might have to. I'm thinking of bringing, definitely keeping one in my backpack and just keeping his head above the zipper so that I can walk around and it looks like Jimmy's watching everyone.
that's
So
cute.
we'll see. But definitely going to be bringing a couple to get your epic signature. And I did want to also ask you because I know you said this is the beginning of the end. And of course, we know Jimmy's already dead, unfortunately. But a lot of speculation has been going on of what comes after Jimmy. Is it a different mold? Is it a different material? Is it a totally different character? For you as an artist, is there anything that you would like to share about your journey after this or what comes next for you after Jimmy kind of makes his grand exit?
Yeah. It's all of it and none of it in a way. It's some of it I know what's happening next. Some of it is like I don't know. It depends on how I feel during the day of of all the things I have written down. Like what is the right direction to go with it next?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the large picture of just how I operate with the artwork I want to put out, especially with like toys. You really have to like think through. Like it's not like a painting or a screen print or an illustration, just like
Mm-hmm.
what I've done in the past and what I continue to want to do, where you spend a few weeks, a few months on it, you put it out there, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
A toy is years in the making, um, from like conception to delivery. The whole manufacturing process is like a whole thing within itself, and so thinking through that investment is a deeper conversation with myself than and Plastic Empire, to be honest. We've had many conversations of like, how do we collaborate? How do we continue to collaborate, and what do we want to do next? And once again, it's all about storytelling, so it has to make sense with the journey that we've already told. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of thinking behind how we approach it next. Um, and I'm a bit cryptic on that, which is as many people, especially my Discord, will know, is like that's like my bread and butter. I love doing that
Yeah. Oh, we
because it's
love it
fun.
too. We love it too. It keeps us guessing. Everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on with
Yeah,
Eight and Jimmy. So it's really awesome how your Discord is such a beautiful community as well.
is it though?
It is. Everyone's so funny. So many talented people too. But overall,
They're
it's really the
amazing.
love and appreciation for Jimmy and you. So
Yeah,
I
they're
love being in your
amazing.
Discord. Everyone's funny as hell.
Yeah, and I think that that comes from not only it comes from two places. One,
Mhm.
I have a very specific thing that I'm wanting to do, and I'm trying to give hints on those things. And the other side of it is I have no fucking clue. I don't know what I'm doing. So if I'm being cryptic, it might just be because I have no idea and I don't know how to answer it. So even within that, it's cryptic because I don't know, you don't know which side of it is true. So yeah, I think that the long-winded answer about kind of what's next is TBD. Um, I'll say this: I know what's next, but I don't want to give anything away. And
Okay.
it will be it will be a learning everything that I've learned from this journey, like the next chapter. It will all come back around, and that's going to be an interesting conversation and a fun conversation, I think, between the
Mhm.
community and the fandom behind it. Of like, oh, how did we get to this point? And to look back at everything and be like, oh, that all makes sense. Like
Yeah.
that's the fun part about it all.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, it's so interesting to hear, and I love picking your brain because I love to learn more about what goes on behind the scenes, what goes on with you, whether it be, coming up with the concept and then going into production with a new colorway. What's the reasoning and your story? Because you do have a lot of emotion and passion packed into every Jimmy and why you choose the specific colorways. And I think personally, I'm really, really so excited to see what you do after Jimmy, whether it's a different mold, which I'm hoping we continue to get someone in the Jimmy verse that joins us as a character, or definitely more of your resin skulls. I mean, I'm looking very, very forward to the minis as well as that set of those 8 skulls, which
Oh yeah, it's back
you'll
there.
have to give us a
Yeah.
little sneak peek about when you're going to be dropping those. Funny story, I thought you were going to be dropping those on August 8th on
Oh,
80. So we're definitely excited to see when they're going to be popping up eventually.
probably August 8th, 2025 at my speed. Um, yeah, for anyone that's listening that doesn't know what we're talking about, there's an 8 box or an 8 skull box set that I'm hand um, curating, hand painting, all that kind of stuff. I actually have set up a brand new like painting booth studio right next to this setup here.
Ooh,
And so I'm going to start getting all that stuff ready to rock to also stream live. I want to showcase the process behind some of that stuff too. I've gotten a lot
awesome.
of feedback that people want to see that. So there's going to be some live streams on that kind of stuff and kind of the usual stuff that I do. And I also think that uh, people who have seen my streams in years past know roughly the ideas that I've thrown around about stuff that we can do with Jimmy. One of them, for an example, is, and a lot of people are mad at me because it still doesn't exist, is a book. So a Jimmy hats book. So we like
Mm,
we've talked about in the past. There's hundreds of hats drawn on Jimmy, and those should be recorded within a book. Every hat that we've ever drawn on Jimmy should be, um, you know, in a recorded on paper, so that you can flip through it. Be like a coffee table type of book. Um, that of course is heavy investment
yeah.
as well. So something, because I am only one person, so when I go on these journeys of like, okay, this is the next project, like everything else is set aside. Like
Mm,
I'm not like doing multiple things at once. And that's, when I went on this toy journey, like that, one of the things I had to give was me streaming on a regular basis. That's one of the reasons why I kind of retired from streaming. I was like, okay, something has to give.
yeah.
And so whatever the next chapter or journey is, like something has to give or something has to be set aside. And so what that is and what that's not, um, remains to be seen for when we finally get to that point and start revealing kind of what's next. But I'll leave it at that because I want to make sure that we're focused on this last stretch of like what we're trying to do with the current iteration of Jimmy and the lasting or the last colorways that exist. So
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I think it's also one other thing I did want to touch on that you had mentioned, which is absolutely amazing, is the chance for people to be completionists, especially with Jimmy. And I mean, he is just absolutely gorgeous. I love every iteration that you've done, and you never miss. That's the other thing, too. You really never do. Everything is so intricate, and the design choices are, I think, so purposeful from what you've shared with us publicly, but also just seeing him and seeing the little changes from Jimmy to Jimmy have been amazing. So I really appreciate as a collector, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well, that you giving everyone the chance to really have a complete collection and enjoy that set of Jimmys is amazing because they've also been very limited too. When you think about it, the piece counts that you do are incredibly low, and I can't wait to see where you go from here if you go more limited or even more kind of widespread. But I think that's amazing to see your mission and hear more about your design choices and hearing that you want people to have the opportunity to be a completionist. And Jimmy's story is kind of ending, so to speak, but it really is also just beginning and blossoming into whatever you choose to do next.
that's the best way to say it right there is like, there's an ending, but it's also just the beginning. And any more, if I say any more than that, my collaborators and my partners will be like, stop talking.
No.
Um, so, we'll leave it there. But yeah, I do really value uh, the the community that invests their time and hard earned money and real estate. Honestly, like the real estate that you give Jimmy behind you, and people that create, have to make a new bookshelf for it. Like
Yeah.
I don't take that for granted. And so, especially because he's an 8-inch figure, that it always was in my head, like, don't overdo it. Don't give anybody anxiety.
He's
I
beautiful though.
launched
We did a mega Jimmy.
I launched, 3 colorways in like, the last 2 months, and that was as much anxiety as I want to cause anybody, because they're like, why does he keep releasing these colorways? But yeah, it's been super fun. I'm excited for what's next, and Jimmy is already dead, and so take that with whatever grain of salt that you want. But Jimmy is very much a character that has a deep lore that I've built, like behind the scenes pages of, like, his origins. Who are the other characters involved? Like, what's the world that he lives in,
Mm,
and what transpires throughout his journey, and how does that change, um, not only the surroundings and others at play within his journey, but also how does it change Jimmy himself. Those are all things that will exist in some facet. Whether or not they exist in the form of a toy, all of it remains to be seen. That would be pretty crazy, and probably like a decade's worth journey to
just
get
do
all.
it. Do it.
Yeah, right. Who knows? Maybe 10 years from now we're like, we did it. Everything's out there. It's like, or like 20 years from now, it's like, oh my god, Jimmy versus like One Piece. It just doesn't end, and please stop. I can't keep up. Or there's certain aspects, because there's books, like I had mentioned. My background is in animation. I would love to bring animation to the forefront, in on some level. Comics, paintings, illustrations, like there's all those things where certain things can exist within that realm,
Mhm.
and we can, as a community, gravitate towards certain things, um, and that can be one of the big um, signifiers for where certain things go next. And what I mean by that is, like, what I did on Twitch for years. Like, I never would have known Jimmy would have been a toy today had certain things not transpired within that community.
Mm,
Right. So there's also the side of like, well, I don't know where this is going to go because I'm vibing and reacting to the community.
yeah.
So it's a very different thing. Like, if I'm just in my own vacuum, like creating my own thing, versus how others inspire me, and how I react to others within the community. I take that very, very seriously. And it also makes it feel very interactive in a way.
Hmm.
That, like, oh damn, I've been following this for X amount of years, and like I remember when the moment where 8 p.m. decided to do that. Like, that was like a specific moment in time where that like
Cool.
transpired. So I'm waiting for those moments as well.
Very cool. And all this is so beautifully said by you. So incredible to hear. And makes me think we really need a collection of mini hats for Jimmy.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great to have a little cowboy hat. Just drop right on top.
I
Um,
can I can tell you that the hats are not a secret. Like, hats
oh,
have to show up, and hats have to be made. They have to fit on Jimmy.
yes,
Um,
absolutely. He
that's
is a
not
very
a
nice
secret.
head.
Yeah.
Big
So
property for a hat.
I'm definitely working on that, and that's also like, we talk about, oh, the end of Jimmy of the colorways, but it's
Hmm.
not the end in the terms that we think, like, oh, like 8 p.m. is just going to disappear. Like, we got to make hats. So like those hats got to fit on those characters that people have already purchased. Like, and how do we go about that? That's all up in the air of how I do that next.
Absolutely. And guys, while we're talking about this, please let us know in the chat because I'm seeing so many familiar Jimmy collectors. What your favorite Jimmy is, what you're looking forward to. Can you believe the news that we're getting from 8 tonight about the incredible two exclusives, not one, but two, which is a huge deal at NYCC that we're going to get. And while people are commenting, I'm going to just grab my favorite and a couple more to show off. But 8, would love to know also a little bit more about Tuesday. So just to reiterate for anyone who's just joined, on Tuesday it's the 1 year Jimmyversary, which is September 24th, and the first 50 people will be getting that hand drawn Jimmy skull if you buy an exclusive through Plastic Empire. And that is only the numbered editions, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The attic and the glow, I believe,
Okay.
are what's left. So
Amazing. So tell us a little bit more about Jimmyversary. I would love to know what it means to you as an artist. Are you doing anything fun to celebrate Jimmyversary? And while you're telling us all that good stuff, I'm going to grab some more Jimmys as well.
yeah, I'm drawing uh I'm drawing Jimmy's for 50 of you. That's what I'm doing for Jimmyversary. I'm spending all day drawing for you guys. No, I think that I didn't know what I never planned for Jimmyversary because I didn't know where it was going to go. This could have, Jimmy could have fallen flat on his face within the first 3 months that we launched him, and I'm like, well, there's no reason to celebrate that. I think there's a lot to celebrate, and it's
Yeah.
only recently that I've thought like, man, we should do something. Not nothing too crazy, but just to acknowledge that we've been doing this for a year, um, and we can keep ramping things up. I guess. I mean, if we hit a 2 year anniversary in some facet, then we'll ramp it up. I'd like to be at New York Comic Con in 2025. Who knows? That's a lot of Jimmys.
Well, I'm bringing them all over because they want to say hello to you. They feel like, take me to my leader,
Yeah.
trying to jump through the screen. But hey, look, we want you at New York Comic Con every year. Can't wait to see you again and to see what these exclusives are. But I brought over, I would try to pick a couple of my favorites and then they all just jumped into my arms. So unfortunately, but fortunately, we have a bunch of them. So I think we can talk through because I know just for anyone who hasn't maybe seen Jimmy or collected or isn't as familiar, which guys, this is an incredible community. If you have any questions, let us know. If you've never seen Jimmy before, welcome to the amazing world of 8 p.m. and Jimmy. But this guy, which is very coveted to me, is a big deal to Jimmy's history. This was your debut at NYCC last year.
It was. That one has a code name. This is actually, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, and
Hmm.
this gets into like how they were designed and like where they were inspired. But um, he's wearing Jordan 1, like original Jordan 1 colorway Air Force Ones. So
Yeah.
he's not wearing Jordans, but like the thing is he's wearing the original, or and what should I say, an homage to the original 1985. Um,
Oh,
and
okay.
so the I was born in 85. So and he was like the first colorway that we launched at a show. So it was the beginning. So it's the beginning of Jimmy, like the birth, very much connected to me as a person, as an artist. The colorway of the sneakers are 1985s, and they were dubbed the devil. And so like if you look into like the history of Jordan 1s, like you would realize like, oh, that's why he's called the devil. So like those are like the little details that exist within why the colorway is the way he is. And they exist throughout, the whole colorway line, but that one in particular that's the story behind him.
Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't know that. So I'm learning a lot tonight too. And I love Queen Artist said lore, 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 which is amazing because I feel like 8 p.m. and Jimmy in general to me is such an enigma. It's like a puzzle that we're constantly trying to piece together. It's why is this Jimmy coming next? I know you've said everything is a plan. So hearing that is so incredible and it makes so much sense. And I remember seeing him for the first time and I was just in love. I ran, I was waiting online, I waited there for a couple hours, but I got Jimmy and that's all that matters. So love him so much. And guys, thank you to everyone who's being here, who's sharing some amazing words. Love for 8 and Jimmy. My little sister's here as well as my mom. So we got a bunch of the family here tonight. And thank you to everyone for joining and just for all your beautiful words and appreciation for 8 and Jimmy.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of people in the chat know, but that one is the very first signed Jimmy ever.
Oh, yes. How could I forget to talk about that? So, guys, this is very special to me. This is actually one of my most prized possessions in my entire collection. And you can only see a little snippet behind me, but I have a lot more over here that you can't see, and a lot more that's even not even in here. But this guy was first one signed by 8 at NYCC last year. I remember, I believe it was Dustin at Plastic Empire, and I had gone up to him, and I didn't know, of course, who he was at that point. And I was like, hey, I'm really trying to meet 8 p.m., where do I go for it? And he's like, oh, you can just wait around here, he'll be here soon. And I'll never forget meeting you. Of course, I had no idea who you were going to be or what you would look like because at that point I knew you as anonymous. And then just meeting you and hearing the incredible words that you said and just your love for Jimmy and appreciation for people like me as a collector and lover of what you create, it's just amazing. So seeing him every single day just brings me so much happiness. And guys, this is the first signed Jimmy ever.
I love
Woohoo!
that. Thank
Not to
you.
flex.
Yeah, right. I mean, that is the only one that can ever possibly exist. And the anonymous side of things was historically kind of what was behind 8 p.m. when I first
Mhm.
started selling my artwork. I loved the idea that no one knew what I looked like, and I would often tell, because my wife and I would do conventions
Mhm.
together, and so if I had to run to the bathroom or I want to go look around the show, if she would always get questions like, "Oh, are you the artist?" And I used to always tell her, like, if they ask that, just say yes.
Just say
Like,
yes. Yeah.
yeah, I love the idea that, like, over time, if I had different helpers or whatever, I could then like make it all of a sudden like, wait, who the hell is this person actually? Like, I remember going to that booth and it
Yeah.
was that girl who said it was 8 p.m., but then this other guy says it, and I thought that was really funny. It all went out the door when I started doing Twitch. So,
That's so funny.
but it is something I tried for a while. Like, I don't want my face. I don't need a face onto the artwork. I just want the
Mhm.
artwork to kind of speak for itself. But
That's awesome. Yeah, it's super, super cool to hear that. And it definitely does speak for itself. And it's funny because you remind me a lot of Banksy in a way, who growing up was and still is one of my favorite artists. And it's really all because we have no idea who he or she or they are. And seeing the artwork and just like being able to see the artwork for what it is, which is art, without having anyone associated to it, I think is what really makes that lore exist and really draws people in to be like, okay, well, we have to find out eventually, like, who are they? And I think it's awesome that we now have a face to Jimmy because now we get to hear some incredible stories from you about all the hard work that went into creating him and all the thoughts that you've had in creating each variant and the purposeful details that you include as well, which is really special as collectors to be able to get that insight.
yeah, the human aspect of it is something that I didn't give enough credit, or I kind of underappreciated at the beginning of my
Mm-hmm.
journey. Was like, oh, this matters. Like, the human aspect matters to people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who's the person behind this is almost as important as the artwork itself for some collectors and some people in the community. And kind of when that light bulb went off, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I need to be present.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's actually super funny, but when I first started my Instagram for collecting, I was totally anonymous. No one knew who I was until about maybe a week before NYCC last year, and the reaction that I got was hysterical. And my reason was because I didn't need people to know who I was to appreciate the art that I loved, right? I wanted to just showcase the collection. And it was really funny because I got the most insane reactions. People were like, "You're a girl, not a dude?" And it was like hysterical just to see, a lot of friends that I'd made through collecting. You never need that face, but it's really cool to see and build that persona of all the hard work that goes into it. This is the person behind it all. You're the brains of Jimmy and 8 p.m. So getting to see more of that connection has been amazing as a collector, and I'm sure everyone else would agree as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and you understand this. Being a content creator and having a YouTube channel and all that. Like, I'm like, man, I really want to do a YouTube channel, but it is a lot of work, right? So when I
Yeah,
see content creators, especially ones who I know personally, do that kind of work, I'm like, man, props. Like, I know that's a lot of work.
thank
So
you.
yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. And I think you would be incredible with YouTube. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of, even editing and stuff like that or thumbnails. Oh my gosh. But when you have that passion for it and that love, it's like it brings me so much joy to turn my camera on, sit down, and open up a box with a new collectible and to be able to share that moment with people who also would appreciate it, especially like Jimmy or hosting you today. it's awesome that we have that opportunity to connect and really get to talk through stories. And that's what I view really social media as. It's like a digital storybook, right? Especially YouTube, where you're now hearing more about the person or learning more or going on a journey with them. So, I mean, definitely, you've got me as a subscriber if you started YouTube, and I think a lot of people would love it as well.
All right, I'm going to start a Patreon now. I need to
There
need
we
to
go.
capitalize
Go
on
for
this.
it. Go for it. But yeah, it's really special, and I love this Devil Jimmy, and I'm glad, so glad that this was like your big debut at NYCC, because I know he sold out very quickly, and
Hmm.
people were constantly asking for more. I know you had the mint variant there too, and he was selling like hotcakes right off the shelf. So I'm sure this year, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be very early in line, Sean. Very early.
Yeah, and I'll be there. Well, so this is another story that I think we've talked about before. It was like I was always late to the show,
Yeah,
and we had an allotment for every day, and they were gone before I got there, like pretty much every single day.
yeah.
And I didn't make the promised time of like when I would be there to sign. Like I was a mess. I won't be a mess this year. I promise.
It's
I'm going to be
okay.
there
We're
when you
all a
show up.
mess.
Yeah, when you show up, anyone listening, anyone seeing this, I will be there.
Yes.
Um, that's probably a lie, but I'm going to try my damnedest. There's just a lot of good food in New York. I mean, a lot of my family is from New York, and I have very close ties, family ties in New York, and so it's a very near and dear place for me. And so when I visit, I have to always go do my family things. So
Oh, that's sweet. That's great. That's what it's all about too. A lot of this is NYCC. We think of collecting, but for me, it's really the memories too. So
yeah,
I think that's awesome. And so we have a couple questions, and I'm gonna keep showing
yeah.
off some Jimmys while we're going through these. Just there's so many of them. Volt Jimmy,
Hmm.
Nick, I see your comment. We're gonna need to find you one. If anyone has an extra Volt, let us know in the comment section here. But this was the next guy I picked up. And with that, we have another question. Are you doing any skate decks for NYCC?
Oh, so
Tell us
there's skate.
the tea.
Dang. So I guess if you ask the right questions, it will reveal things I'm not actually thinking about revealing. Skate decks are
Ooh,
coming. Hand painted skate decks.
hand painted?
Yes, I'm gonna hand draw. I already have the blanks, and I'm planning on that. They're not coming to New York Comic Con,
Okay.
mainly because I don't have any done yet, but also because I'm scared to fly with them.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want to check them in. I don't want to. I don't want because they're going to be one of ones, and so I get very nervous about shipping. So I don't want to ship it to New York, and I certainly I'm not going to have room on to carry them on.
mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a TBD on how I go about those. Um, but I'm guessing if I do, I'm not planning on doing very many, if at all, shows next year as an independent artist. DesignerCon 2023 destroyed me. It's like Voldemort. Like all the Horcrux except for one have been destroyed, and I'm just like hanging on by a thread. And if one
Yeah,
more Horcrux is destroyed, then I'm gone forever. And so that one took like half my life. And so I've just been on like kind of a hiatus from doing shows.
yeah. I hear you. It
That
sounds
being
like a lot of
said,
work.
yeah,
A
that
lot of
being
work.
said, decks will be with me there. They'll be offered online. And I will hold my breath when I'm sending them out that they actually survive and make it. Um, but yeah, I have anxiety about shipping things that are one of one
Yeah.
because there would be no replacing it. I would just be like, well, I'd have to repaint it again, and yeah,
Well, I definitely hear you on that, but I'm very, very excited to see more about skate decks. I really want to get one. So I'm gonna be first in line, be battling, whatever it is, whether online or however you're thinking of dropping them. But that sounds super exciting, and thank you for sharing that with us. And I know we have a lot of skate deck fans in our audience right now, and also in the community. A lot of
yeah,
skate.
and we've done skate decks in the past. Like we've done a couple.
Mm-hmm.
They've been printed skate decks, so a very simple black deck with the logo. One's a glow in the dark. One was um, holographic. Two very specific reactions for reasons I'm sure you can connect. But going from here, they're going to be hand created by me. So there'll be art pieces.
Oh my
I
gosh.
wanted to make sure that because there was a lot of positive feedback behind decks, and I was like, I've always wanted to do decks. I should just be
Mhm.
using them as a canvas for people, and charging
Yeah.
$14 million per, so I
14
can feed my
million. Like
each
at
one.
least 15 million.
I mean, you can. I mean, I won't say no if you want to send me an extra mill. But I mean, and I'm sorry. I know you're showing all the Jimmies, and I'm not reacting to them. But the
Huh?
one that you just showed, Inkblot, that one's a special one because that was one that we revealed the last time we were talking, and that one sold out
Yeah.
immediately, which was crazy. I've never
Yes.
seen anything like that before. So
Oh my gosh. Well, we were truly honored that you debuted him on the live and had the best time and could not believe our eyes. We weren't shocked. We knew he was going to go quick. But oh my gosh, just the beautiful reaction and the love for him. And of course, you also sharing what he means to you and your creation process and concept for him is just so beautiful. So,
yeah,
again, thank you for that honor.
did I don't even remember what if I told you the reason behind it. Is it because of like the origins of animation, and I'm an anime. Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah. He
So
had mentioned like San Francisco and the whole kind of inkblot journey.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Can you
one
tell us
is
again?
the lowest run of all of the Jimmy colorways, and so that one is probably the hardest one to cop if you want that one.
Love him. He's beautiful. Love all the different monotone, but it's, different shades of gray. Absolutely beautiful. And again, we are truly honored that you chose to debut him on our live. I mean, I still can't believe that. I want to get like something framed that says Inkblot Jimmy debuted on the live. Woo! But like when I look at him, he holds such a special place in my collection, and he actually sits with a lot of my grails, my whole little gray and white section. He chills up there along with this special little guy here as well.
Oh, I got one back here somewhere. It's just sitting over there
Ooh.
too.
He's just chilling back there. He's always watching.
Yeah, this is very cryptic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
It's
really
very
love the
weird.
background tonight.
What's going on back there? I
It
will I will answer no questions about it.
okay. Hey, look,
But
a
it's
little
weird.
mystery's good.
I wish I could show you. I mean, I wish it was easy to move the camera, but I have shelves back here that are all like just my vinyl toy collection that are all gray tones. So I have that
Mm.
as well. So I appreciate the collections that people have that are all gray tones and black and white versions of like tonal, like just like that. Yeah. Funny,
Yes,
I don't have that Jimmy up there with the rest of them, but I probably should.
you gotta get. Well, do you have them? You gotta put them up there.
I do. I have
Okay.
in a different place in the house every single Jimmy colorway lined up.
Oh,
That
nice.
um yeah, I've not been able to reveal since there's colorways in there that people haven't seen yet. But
Ooh, okay. Well, look. All I'm gonna say is I've seen a lot of these comments, so I'm gonna address something in the room right now.
yeah,
Mark, I'm looking at you. Mark, you're awesome. Mark says, drop something tonight and we'll show you again that will sell it out. So we're seeing a lot of those. So, we might have to talk in the future because that would be amazing to do again.
what do I have around here that I can sell?
Just sign your name on a piece of paper. We'll put up for 15 mil right now.
I have a half drinking Modelo beer. Does anybody want to buy this?
Opening bid starting at 50K.
We're actually, let's just say it's going to be an empty can because by the time we are done with the auction, it's going to be gone.
There you go. If you got an extra like Jimmy Tentacle or just a random hoodie or something laying around, you can just throw it up. We'll do a live auction here.
One of the things that I kind of announced, but it wasn't like an official announcement when I was talking to Killer Fox and Jasper was Jimmy Apparel is up online at the
Yes.
apm.com. So I just kind of slid that in there, but that's big because they debuted at DesignerCon and I didn't put them online until recently. So those are purchasable. And one thing I told the Discord, which I don't know, maybe it's a lie or not, but you'll have to find out. If you show up to New York Comic Con wearing a Jimmy shirt, and you find me, I will
Huh.
hand you a gold Jimmy pin. Now, the thing about that is, I don't think Jimmy gold pins exist, so that's probably a lie because I've never seen one personally. But I'm told that might happen if you show up with wearing a Jimmy shirt and you find me at the show.
Yeah, I did hear the legend, I guess, about these gold Jimmy pins. Like,
Something, yeah.
I thought I saw one. It was very reflective. It turned out to be like a UFO or something. I don't
Mm.
know. It's crazy. I don't know what
They're
people are talking about.
photoshopped. It's
Yeah.
AI generated. It's photoshopped, so you might just get I don't know something that's printed on a piece of paper, because that's how it can exist. It's the only way it can exist. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think so too, but I do have to say also, I keep meaning to go and do it. So I'll be buying my shirt after this live because I just want to rock APM the entire con because everyone needs to know how awesome you are. And the t-shirts are gorgeous. I love the sushi one that you did with
Yes,
the
that one.
tentacle just climbing out of like I call it a sardine can because my grandma and I grew up, eating sardines and a very special memory that I have with her. But I love just that touch of dark humor that you have with those shirts. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, and one thing also that isn't really kind of been talked through is um, me and a good friend of mine, Dan Cellini. He's the one who actually designed the bento box one,
Nice.
and we wanted to start an apparel collaboration called Below
Mhm.
the Salt. So it's tied to Jimmy in that way. Anyone who Some people who have already got a t-shirt probably got a sticker in there. It's a black heart and it says Below the Salt, and it's like, what the hell does that even mean? If you
Ooh,
go to belowthesalt.co, that actually takes you to the apm.com. So that's all like embedded in there, but I have never really made it like an official announcement like, hey, this is a collaboration. But the the sushi bento one was designed by an amazing designer named Dan Cellini. Of course, the Jimmy Reaper shirt was designed by me. And I'm
beautiful.
hoping that we continue that, not only just between him and I, but bringing in other artists and building out Below the Salt to be a collection of apparel that's not just my artwork. And every single one that is posted will tell you which artist has designed what.
Love it.
But that's kind of the story behind that as well. And I encourage people to also get the sushi bento one because I love that one. And it
I
it
love it.
also, there's a lot of hints in there too. And I think there'll be hints hidden within apparel of like where things go with Jimmy as well.
Ooh, well, let me just say that sushi bento box, I would love if you turn that into a vinyl or resin figure itself.
Done.
Do it. Let's go. One of one. I'm just gonna say right now, guys, I'm calling it. I'm so sorry, but we absolutely need that, and I love that we just have a little Jimmy tentacle popping out of that can. But we do have a little special visitor who joins. I'm just gonna bring him on, and then I would love if we just do a quick recap because I know we're coming up on time here,
Yeah.
and I can't thank you enough for joining us about what we've heard during this live, guys. The amazing person APM is. So let's bring on our little special guest real quick.
There he is.
Hello, my love. Looks like you made it.
Hello. Hi. Yes. Sorry, I'm back from work now. Apparently, me not going in on a Saturday turns into me going in on a Saturday. So go
Oh,
figure.
well, you made it now, so that's all that matters. And I love that spicy display behind you.
But this thing, yeah, it looks pretty cool, eh? Yeah, it's
Hey,
just
That
there's
is
out
the
there.
biggest collection uh, of Jimmy's outside of the country. I know that
Yeah.
for a fact because we don't ship international. How the hell do you have all those?
Well, that would actually be through that lovely lady sitting right next to you, right there.
I'm asking
That's
questions I
yes.
know, but
Yes, we generally get our orders straight to Steph, and then actually, I think my love, I think there's actually a couple for me at yours still, isn't there?
there's
There's
three
what
more that are getting shipped out
three?
next week.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So truly, truly awesome. We love Jimmy if you couldn't tell. We absolutely adore him. So we can't wait to see what's up next for you.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that when we get to have these moments to talk, that I give you the inside scoop on these things. I know that the last time that I was on, we did the ink blot drop. This time, I gave you a long bullet list of things that are coming. So I hope that got people excited. Paul missed all of it, and we're deleting this recording, so he'll never see all the things that we revealed, and that's unfortunate. So sorry, Paul.
well,
Sorry, babe.
well, just know that even as I was driving home in all that awful, awful Gold Coast traffic, I did still have the live playing, so I did hear everything.
Damn it.
Oh
So,
man, I was gonna
no
say this is
secret.
gonna implode after.
Although, like, I'm loving the sounds of hand painted skate decks. I'm a big skate deck fan, and to actually have them hand painted, oh,
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
One thing I'm trying to figure out is if I want to reveal certain things within other mediums. So, or do I want to keep them close to the chest and like reveal certain things when they become, tactile resin or vinyl or things like that? That's something I'm still playing around with, but that's just all to say that there's a lot of really exciting things that I'm excited to share with everybody as the lore continues of Jimmy.
Ooh, well, one last question, and then we'll do a quick roundup of every amazing detail you've shared. Do you have more resin in the works? Can we expect more skulls?
Yeah. So, what is it? These I got a couple printers back here. Um, they're off screen. I have a couple printers. I might add one more.
Ooh.
But this is like my studio to handle more of like the handcrafted things. More resin is coming definitely, and next year, I guess this is more news. But I touched upon this not too long ago. Next year has a lot to do with APs, like the artist proofs of every colorway that was launched this year. APs are coming, custom APs. So I want to do, a custom, like the Devil Jimmies, the ones with the horns.
Yeah.
Every single colorway should have a custom. How many of each I can do is a different question. I want to be able to showcase those live on stream, so we can kind of be, have people be a part of it in a way. And so that takes a lot of time. So like it, even though we come to an end of like, okay, the last colorway is launching soon. Next year is full every month of like the rewind of like, oh, now we got these customs that are one offs or two offs or like limited edition threes or fives, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also in the ability of people, and this is also something I've been telling people a lot when they're like, I really want, and someone in the chat was talking about Volt, things like that. I always respond with the APs are coming, because you will still have a chance when we look back at like, oh, everything's launched and I'm missing a couple. Stay tuned. Join the Discord. Don't DM me. I'm starting to get a lot of DMs about things, and I'm like, that information's out there. Why do I have to repeat this personally? So just follow the Discord, follow what I post. I want to make sure I put all the information that you need to know out there. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you're asking about like when's the Volt gonna launch or whatever, or the toxic one, like I will make sure I put that out there, and in um, not last minute. Like I'm not gonna like just surprise drop these things, because I think the intention is that like I want to make sure that people who missed out get enough time to pick one up when I do drop them. Of course, they're going to be much more limited because there's only a few, but I want everyone to know in advance. So keep that in mind for 2025. If we reach the end of Jimmy as we know him, if you're missing out, there's still a chance to get them.
Okay, amazing. Well, one last thing that I think would be awesome that I just wanted to share before we go into our quick lightning round of what we talked about today is has to do with this little guy. So,
Mm-hmm.
Sean, I know that you actually were, I think, the first person to know when I had purchased two of these why I was doing that. And I had told you I'm only going to give it to Paul when I'm finally with him in Australia. So in July, I had gone to Australia, of course, to be with my love. And it was absolutely beautiful because it was our 6 months. And I had brought the skull, which I
You
bought.
guys are dating? What the
Did
fuck?
you know?
I
Welcome
Wait,
to
thought
the
that's
news here.
news to
you were
me.
just
Wait,
business
what?
partners. You guys keep things very professional at all times. This is news to me.
Well, you know what? It's the power of Jimmy brought us together. And funny enough, I actually bought the skull 5 days into us dating. And I had known from that moment, I was going to bring it to Australia eventually. And I knew Paul and I were endgame at that point. It was very clear, just, knowing him for a very short amount of time. And when I gave him the skull with the beautiful custom boxes that you had done, he was absolutely shell shocked. I mean, he was speechless. Absolutely in love. He grabbed his phone right away. He's like, I got to take a picture of this and share it with the
Yeah.
Discord. So, the beautiful power of Jimmy and just so much of the love that we share, we really share for the beautiful items that you've created that hold such sentimental pieces of our hearts. So, I just wanted to share that little story as well.
I
I
love
believe
that.
that's mine down there. I don't know if you can see that because I can barely sort of see my own camera, but
Oh my god,
mine's
mine as
sitting
well.
in this case right
Oh,
down here.
nice. Paul got a
So,
Jimmy skull.
yeah, he's there. Uh,
We didn't plan this either. Like that's kind of funny that that one is actually the one in the background. I had no idea that this was going to come up or that it was going to be in Paul's background or you were going to bring it up, Steph. That's crazy. I like how
That's
that worked
awesome.
out.
The powers of Jimmy.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, funny enough, you say, my love, that you were actually here and we actually got to celebrate 6 months together. It's funny when I do come back over to New York. That is actually going to literally the day I land is we will be celebrating literally 12 months to the day that we met.
Yeah, it's gonna be so
So
special.
I
yeah,
wish
I think that's a really sort of cool way of sort of being able to reunite, like literally 12 months to the day. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be pretty epic. So I can't wait for New York. Obviously, we're trying to make plans. I believe you have plans for Alliance Fest, don't you, Sean?
yeah. Oh, did we not we didn't talk about
Oh,
that.
we
I
didn't
think
talk about that.
yeah, so Steph and I talked about it offline. But I will be at Alliance Fest. I know tickets are sold out. Um, but I don't know, show up anyway. Sorry, Dustin. If what Dustin's watching at Plastic Empire, he's like, what is he doing? Just show up anyway. Show up in just droves,
Just bring up
and
all the
just
Jimmys.
walk in to Dave and Buster's. Just chant Jimmy. We believe.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
will be there. I'll be
I
partying.
think I have been sort of pointed in the right direction of someone that may actually have some tickets. Might be able to help us out. So because I don't know if we're going to end up at Alliance Fest because I think we were thinking maybe that Thrill Joy panel, weren't we, my love?
Yeah, but we might have to reconsider that, my love,
We might
because
have to. We might have to.
Dave and Buster's with 8 p.m., Plastic
Yeah,
Empire, and a lot of amazing
A
fig pins sounds like
drunk 8 p.m.
we get.
Uh,
Yeah, we get to hang with all the cool kids. So.
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, that's I hung out with a bunch of people in the industry at that show. So that show is super fun. I look forward to it. To see old faces, meet new faces, and I'm also going to be catting around town all that whole weekend and beyond. I will be in New York for a while. So if anybody finds me and I've been cryptic about this as well, there's a bar in New York City that sells ass juice. If you show up and if I'm there, I am buying you a round of ass juice until you tell me no more.
That's
So
amazing. That sounds really good right now. I could definitely go for some ass juice.
yeah, perfect.
There we go.
$4, 2 for $9.
Ah, there you go. Okay, wow. 8, we can't thank you enough. And just to recap real quick, so we've got 2 figures, 2 Jimmys dropping at NYCC. Huge congrats again. And those will be the 2 second to last Jimmys before the final Jimmy drops, which is, can you tell us again? It's that special edition with that special sticker as well.
Oh, one of the colorways, yeah, going that's going to be at New York Comic Con is Jimmyversary celebration. So that
Amazing.
one's going to be marked as such. The other one is a super special one that is near and dear to my heart. And then the final colorway will be the death of Jimmy. So,
Ooh, Jimmy's funeral.
yeah,
Even though he's already dead.
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And guys, just a reminder to please follow 8 on Instagram at 8_PM. Follow Plastic Empire. Check out his amazing website where you can find incredible artwork as well as those beautiful Below the Salt t-shirts, which we will be rocking. Also, check out the Discord. It's such an amazing family there. Everyone's just awesome and everyone's funny as all hell. Like literally to the point where I will piss my pants, not literally. Okay, I have to preface that, but figuratively piss my pants with how funny everyone is there. And did I miss anything? Oh,
Uh,
Tuesday.
I think there's the fact that you said figuratively, whereas I do literally piss my pants.
There you go. Thank you, babe.
Yeah.
Thank you for
He
prefacing
does a
that.
lot of laundry. A
Yeah,
lot of
he does.
laundry.
Does a lot of
Yeah,
washing.
Yeah.
well, that's why I wear the shorts that I wear because they're very sort of like quick dry.
I
Oh
call
my
him pee pee Paul behind
Yeah, it
closed
just
doors.
like because they're quick dry and that it allows me to pee in my pants like
Yeah.
multiple times a day.
Oh my gosh, that's you don't know what you've just done because now I'm gonna call him that every time.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
this
Oh
Discord's going to get very interesting right now.
Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
it certainly is. And guys, just a reminder also, this Tuesday is Jimmyversary, so expect I'll be posting an awesome photo of all of my Jimmys here as well, 8, and can't wait. And guys, As a reminder, the first 50 people to buy one of the limited Jimmies on Tuesday the 24th will get a hand-drawn Jimmy skull. And 8, is that like midnight? Have you announced what the time that will be for that drop?
Yeah, I believe it's going to be midnight, but there's going to be more information. So, if you don't
Perfect.
have a complete picture of the details of how to go about it, we'll just we'll give you more information in the coming days.
Okay, amazing. And guys, thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight, the Jimmy fam, the 8 p.m. Army. Thank you to my amazing mom, Funko Lover, as well as Christina, our incredible moderators. Even my little sister joined because she was so excited to see. I was like, you got to join the live. You won't believe who we're having as special guests. So thank you always for joining us and giving us such an incredible insight. We appreciate it, but I know that the community does, and it's so special. You are one in your own. No one does it. So it's amazing to hear your process, your creativity, and we absolutely love you.
Thank you, thank you. It's my pleasure. Honored to be on here. So I hope we get to all talk again soon.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we definitely look forward to seeing you in New York next month.
That's going to be fun. I'm excited for that.
Or have we got some fun little surprises for you there, Sean?
Jimmy
I'm
time.
gonna bring extra pants.
Yeah, you should.
Oh, you're gonna need them because you're gonna be doing more than just peeing in your pants.
Oh my
I hope
God.
so.
I hope so, especially with that ass juice. Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Well, thank you everyone again for joining. As always, we believe in Jimmy. And 8, thank you so much. And guys, have a great weekend. Happy Friday. All right. Bye, guys. See ya.